What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode on The Black Experience. My name is Ermias Hagos, and today we are marking episode 1 of 4 on this Pioneer Square project that I'm doing. This project is dedicated to all the local Black creatives around Pioneer Square and highlighting the success that they have, any advice they'd give to y'all, and shouting out whatever they're doing. For today's first episode, I have 2 incredible guests with me today. My first guest, Fuego, is the CEO of social media agency Ignited Minds. He's a photographer as well as a creative director. And my second guest, Safia, is a fashion stylist and the CEO of Safiasofly. Without further ado, y'all, let's put our hands together and let's bring up Fuego and Safia.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here, man, for real.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. You know, this is something that I've thought about before doing for it's been actually months I've thought about this collab because you two are both incredibly active members here at Colors.
Yeah.
Like pivotal members. So
I think we're the face of Colors. I'm just kidding. Fuego's the face of Colors.
Yeah, certainly. But how y'all doing on this beautiful Saturday? Y'all have a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah, been a good day. Been busy. Feels like one of those days where everything's just like nonstop. You wake up, you feel like you're just gonna have a relaxed day, then you get a call, you gotta do this, gotta do that, and then everything just starts to.
Yeah.
I did not feel like I was gonna have a relaxed day. I already knew my day was gonna be hectic. Like 3 weeks ago, I was like, April 19th. It's gonna be a tough day. But there was a lot on the schedule today. But I'm blessed. I feel productive, motivated, happy to be here.
Absolutely, and I think it was hilarious too because I like to do my podcast in the morning. I'm not a morning person either, but when Fuego was like, let's push that time to the afternoon, you know.
I just knew that would be better, honestly.
Yeah, I think collectively we were just all way better in the evening.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate both you guys taking the time to come here amidst a busy day. Fuego, you were just getting off a call that you just had. But for this project, like I said, it's highlighting those local creatives here in Pioneer Square. And to kick it off, we're going to start with something different that I've never done on this podcast. We're going to start with an icebreaker. And the icebreaker question is, if you both could collab with a dream guest, be it in fashion, be it in photography, whatever it is, who would it be and why?
Like collab together or just like if we had to collab with someone?
Collab with someone.
Do you want me to go?
You go first.
I think for me, and it's actually so sad because he passed away, may he rest in peace. But one of my dream collabs was always Virgil from Off-White, the designer. And I felt like the way he took that brand and just elevated it, and the way that he just changed the fashion industry to respect Black fashion. I feel like he pioneered a lot of it. Even this year's Met Gala theme is Black dandyism, and it's just kind of like bittersweet. Like in one sense, it's like, okay, that's cool. But for the first time in 70 years that the Met Gala has been happening, we are having a historically Black theme, but we don't have some of those pioneers here with us to be there. And so dead or alive, it would probably be Virgil. Alive, I would love to work with Naomi Campbell. I think that she's so dope at what she does as a model, as a creative. I would love to work with her, and I think she keeps it real, like me. And yeah, that's my answer. Very niche into fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I love those answers. Honestly, that helped me think a lot too. I would have to say it would be Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott's a big one for me. I just always love me even getting into this creative industry. I grew up watching music videos as a kid. And I used to love watching Missy Elliott music videos, Busta Rhymes music videos. It was always just so impressive. Not just the video or the song itself. It was just the way they push the bar with the way they shoot it, from using a fisheye lens to the different fashion statements to make, the costumes that they would wear. I was like, this is incredible. This is insane. It always kept me glued to the screen. And little did I know, if I was gonna become a filmmaker, had no intention of being one at all. But as I got older and I got into visual arts, every time I thought of concepts, I always realized there was that childlike mind of mine, or I would refer back to my childlike mind and always think about those things that I used to watch.
Yeah.
and what I used to see. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to create. Like, you can ask anybody that's worked with me. I've probably said it several times. Think of like Missy Elliott or Busta Rhymes, because I'm always like thinking about their visuals and how much it inspired me.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's
dope.
really cool. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, do you both feel like when you're thinking about those dream guests, like, it's obviously for, Virgil, it passed away, but for you, I mean, those guests are alive, and do you feel like that's even too far out that you won't be
No.
able to reach?
No,
No?
absolutely not. That'll happen very soon.
I like the confidence.
That'll happen very soon. It's just a matter of time. It's almost like, honestly, it just takes like moments like this. You speak it into existence.
Right.
It'll happen. It'll catch up to you.
You're actually only one person away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you know somebody that knows somebody else. Like, that's like a law in human nature. Like I'm one person away from somebody who most people would think is unattainable. Like Drake, you're one person away from Missy Elliott. Like, everyone is just one person away. Like, it's not that difficult to like connect.
No, not at all.
I watched Kris Jenner's masterclass, and she said that one of the main takeaways I took from that was, if there's no such thing as no, like if someone says no, find someone who's going to say yes. And there's like, no is not an answer that's in her vocabulary. And when she was dying, not that like I'm a big Kris Jenner fan, but the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. I'm just saying there's something to learn from her. When she was trying to pitch the TV show, her family's TV show, there were so many producers who said no. And she just didn't like let that discourage her. She just was like, there's gonna be somebody who says yes, and that somebody was Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest says yes, and now the whole family is a billionaire family. So like, at the end of the day, if you let no be your guiding factor, you're never gonna get anywhere.
Yeah,
So,
no, true.
Yeah.
I remember when growing up, my parents, talking to them, my parents are always like, my dad actually, he would always say, what's the worst that could happen? If you ask a question or if you want to do something, the worst thing that could happen is someone saying no. And that's it.
Yeah.
So if that's the worst thing that can happen, why not take a chance?
It's not that bad.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
go ahead.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah, well, it's a numbers game, right? It really is in life, and most things, you got to just keep trying. I'm a big believer in, everything does happen for a reason. So all those no's are building up your confidence or whatever skill that is, and then once you get that yes, you'll be in a better position.
Yeah. I saw a quote the other day that said, if you had to fail 100 times to become successful, how happy would you be to fail? Right?
Yeah.
That means you're that much closer to success. If the rule is you have to fail 100 times to be successful, how happy are you going to be when you fail? Because you're that much closer to succeeding.
That's a mic drop moment right there. Best said. But all right, so let's start it off a little bit. If you both could share a little bit about who you are, tell the audience a little bit what you do, and the inspiration behind, what it is that you do and where that came from. Let's start with you, Safia.
Okay, well, my favorite quote is, whoever said you can't do it all never met Saf Mallon. I'm a little conceited. I'm just kidding. No, but I am a fashion stylist, but I'm also a racial equity coach. I'm a writer and a creative director. I work in a lot of different fields. I always joke, like, if you guys knew how many different jobs I have, it's kind of insane. But right now I'm focused on styling because, well, just to give you guys a brief history of me, I grew up on the West Coast, born in California, raised in Canada, like Vancouver area, moved to Seattle. Definitely consider myself a Seattleite because I went to middle high school here and stuff. And then I left very young. At 18, I moved to the UK, then I moved to Atlanta, and then I moved to Dubai, and I lived and worked in so many different fields. I worked in tech. I was a celebrity stylist in Atlanta, so I kind of always had like a passion for fashion. And during the pandemic, when I moved to the Middle East and just left fashion, I liked it, but part of me felt like something was missing. So when I decided to come back home, and I got back into fashion with a twist. Like, I did not like being a little person for like big people. Like, I was not a fan of being a celebrity stylist because I was treated like, anyone who knows me knows I am very much like, I like to like move with a sense of confidence, and like I kind of like a lot of times people be like, oh, do you think you're better than everybody else? But no, I think it's just because like being East African, like we're like raised to be very prideful of who we are. So for me, I did not like being treated like an assistant. I'm nobody's assistant, you know, like I work for myself. So I left the celebrity world and I came to Seattle to like bring the fashion scene here up to date, because Seattle's fashion scene's a little outdated. But not just that, I style with a twist. I only style using vintage pieces. So every time I like take on a client and I'm styling them for a photo shoot or for an event, it's in vintage, like thrifted pieces, because I want to focus and pioneer sustainability. That's like a main like goal and passion of mine. I think there's too much clothes on the planet. Like I always say, like clothes deserve a second chance, and not your ex. You know, like we gotta like, I don't know. For me personally, I love the work I do in fashion. I do work a 9 to 5 like most creatives do, but my 9 to 5 is something that I would do all the time, even if I wasn't getting paid for it. I'm a racial equity coach. I teach diversity, equity, and inclusion to elementary and middle school teachers. So it's kind of cool that I get to like be there on the front lines, battling the preschool to prison pipeline, making an active difference in the lives of children. I majored in child education. So, and before all of this, I was a preschool teacher. So I kind of am still in the same field, but with a lot more impact. And yeah, it's kind of cool. The work we do together at Ignited Minds is really cool. Like we get to like pour into creatives and like give a lot of mentorship and teach a lot. And I think that that's something that both Fuego and I really get like satisfaction from.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I kind of do a little bit of everything, have my hands in like a lot of different pots, but right now my main focus is styling. I also am a writer, been a writer my whole life. Stop using ChatGPT to write your guys' Substack articles. We don't want to read it. We know AI wrote it. As an actual writer who's been writing my whole life, like I see that the age of AI has really made everyone think that they're a writer, and I'm like, no. But yeah, I do have a fashion blog, Safiasofly.com, and it's something I love doing.
Yeah, I like that. I actually, before we go, I remember I was peeping your website, and that section you had about reputation, and your reputation really is, key, especially today in 2025, it follows you around. So
yeah, bad business practice. If you are a business, or even if a designer, a model, it doesn't matter what role you play, the way you govern with other people follows you around. You have to be somebody who genuinely practices values and has good principles and morals. That's what gets a client to come back. Who you are, and the fact that like it's just a principle, If you suck and you're a horrible person, no one's gonna come to you. And if I hear about you being a horrible person from somebody else, then I'm not even gonna risk it, So yeah, your reputation definitely matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Fuego, tell us a little bit about you, man.
Where do I begin? Well, I'll start with this. My name is Fuego. I'm from North Carolina, born and raised in North Carolina. The name Fuego, we'll address that part first, okay? We'll just get into that. Honestly, it was just a name. It just started as a name. I just, when you go to Instagram, you create a name and they tell you this is taken, that's taken. I was funneling through a bunch of different names, and I picked Fuego only because I used to love the word. Growing up in North Carolina, my first and only job that I ever had, well, only 9 to 5, was I worked at McDonald's, and everyone that worked at McDonald's, they were all Mexican.
Yeah.
Like their whole family, everyone was there. And they used to just like cuss me out all day long. And like when things were hot, I remember I burnt my hand. I used to burn my hand all the time making burgers and whatnot. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But they'd be like, Fuego, Fuego, Fuego. And I always used to just love that word. So I don't know. I just came up with the name. And then the Gatsby part, my first ever book that I read through and through, that I actually enjoyed, especially in high school, and they force you to read these books and whatnot for homework. It was the first book I read, and I was ahead of homework every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. So it just resonated with me. So that's how the name came about. But it is a name that does mean something to me, because I feel like when it's like going around saying you're the GOAT, or you're this, you're that. When you say, if I come and introduce myself as Fuego, automatically someone's like, oh, so you're fired. That's always the response. But it's like, it encourages me to make my work that good. Because if I make my work that good, then it's like I can confidently answer you and say, yes, I am Fuego. And say with all the confidence in the world, because I know that it's good, and there's nothing you can say to deter me from that. Right. So that's where the name came from. As far as just my background with being a creative, I've been a creative my whole life. My mom was an artist growing up. She used to be on this TV show called Electric Factory back in North Carolina. She's a dancer. My mom's a writer. She's multifaceted, and I always just grew up just like watching her and just being in love with art. Like I said, watching music videos and things like that. I just always had this fascination for it. So, as I got older, went through the military, didn't like it, got out, decided to find my passion. Because I had to find out what's next. What is next for me? What do I want to do? And since I always had this love for like creativity, I was like, maybe I'll take a shot at it and see. I didn't know that, it could be a thing that you could actually like turn into a job or a career. But I knew it was possible. So I took a leap of faith, and I was like, you know what, let's go all in, and let's see what we can figure out. And I've always, I've been a multifaceted person, so that was a struggle for me to like kind of dive into it and figure out, okay, well, what lane do I want to take? Do I want to be a dancer? Do I want to be like in this fashion world? Do I want to be a photographer, videographer? I don't know. But just like anything, I just tried it all out. And now I've gotten to the point where I can confidently say I am a creative director, but I'm a creative director because I understand these different creative worlds, because I've lived in each one of them and figured out how all of them work and communicate with one another. And that's what I do now. So now I'm all about creativity. I'm all about community building. I love community. I meet all different types of artists every single day, and I think God blessed me with like the life that I live to be in all these different facets of art, so that way I can teach other artists and I can help other artists become better and build this community. And we'll see where it goes. We're just going to keep pushing for it. But yeah, that's a little bit about my background, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you both are decorated backgrounds, seriously. And I being at the production party that I came to, hosted by Ignited Minds, that was my first ever photo shoot. Like, I've done like senior photos or whatever, but I came in just because the day before, Naya, who I had on the podcast, encouraged me to come.
Love Naya so much.
She's amazing.
Yes.
She's amazing. So she told me to come through again, and I wore denim that day, and then she said, wear the same outfit. We'll get some pictures of you. I don't know how to pose. Like, seriously, I'm telling people right now, I really don't know. I just go in there. I ask the photographer, is this good? Is this good?
Yeah.
Is my
Most people don't know how to pose.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Most people don't know how to pose.
Yeah.
Majority of them don't. Like, it's actually something that it's a problem we deal with on set all the time. That's why we have pose coaches on set, though, like people that help with that, because most people are just not comfortable. But no, continue.
Do you guys think someone is born knowing how to pose?
I wouldn't say born, but I will say everyone has the capability to be able to pose. I know when I work with my clients, even if there's like especially early on, again, my dance background, like, I also am the same person to tell you everyone can dance.
Sure.
Even if people say, I wasn't born to dance, but it's like you can if you want to. If you actually wanted to learn how to dance, you could. So posing is like the same thing. It's just like one of those things. You just have to think of it like dancing. Just have fun with it.
That's it.
Just move and work off the energy of the photographer you work with, and you'll capture some amazing shots.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Which is what happened too, and not just my photos. I was going through all those photos. We killed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was one of the best production parties that we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all ate it up for real.
I think the energy in the room was just so magnetic and creative, and everybody genuinely wanted to be there, and it was like no one felt awkward. And like usually we kind of have to walk around and like start pairing people up. Like usually I'll be like, hey, this is this person, and like they're a photographer and you're a model, and you guys should like shoot together and like do an icebreaker. But it wasn't even like that. People jumped right in and they were like, hi, my name is so and so, and will you shoot me? And like I just loved that. I thought that was really cool. And very intimate too. Like it was like a good amount of people that were like genuinely trying to be there.
I feel like when everybody left there, we was all family and friends now.
Yeah, that type of vibe. Even the group chat is still popping. All the other group chats are dead. Because we do a group chat for every production party to like drop the photos. The rest of them are dead. This one is still like everyone's still like in there. Like, hey guys, how are you? Like,
talking about the next big thing, sharing funny memes and stuff. It's cool. I love it.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah. I came to the right one then.
Yeah.
Because every time I pull my phone, I'm like, still going, man. Yeah. Shoot, man. Okay. But talking, so kind of bringing it back to the creative partnership that you both have.
Yeah.
You know, fashion, photography, you know, you both do two different things, but at the same time, it co-mingles together. What makes both y'all's creative partnership so special, so unique whenever you guys do get together for these, you know, production parties or whatever kind of collabs?
Yeah. I think that it might look like we do different things, but I think we have the exact same skill set in a lot of ways. I think that, like, for example, like, we shoot each other. Like, he's always begging for me to, like, shoot. I hate one thing. As you get to know me, people will be like, oh, she's a model, she's a model. I hate being in front of the camera. Like, I genuinely don't like it, but I will do it to like elevate my own brand. But I'm also a photographer, right? That's also something I do not like publicize. Don't hit me up to shoot you. No, I'm a great photographer, but I don't. No. Just like today, I was doing makeup. I'm a great makeup artist. I used to do bridal makeup. Not anymore. Don't hit me up. I'm not doing your makeup. I'm over it. You know, I have certain, like, you know, when you outgrow certain fields. Yeah, but I think, like, we have a lot of the same skill set and we're super similar. So I think what makes our creative partnership special is that we can hand over projects to each other. Like, he can hand over something to me that's half done and I can finish it, and vice versa, you know? I think, like, when we both are able to be creative directors in the sense that we both understand the scope of the project, we both know what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, the models or anyone else on set, they can come to us, either of us, and they know that our answers are, even if we don't check in with each other, our answers are going to be the same because we think the same. And I think that that's what makes our partnership super special. And I also think that, like, for a long time we did things alone. Like, I can't speak for you, Fuego, but for me, like, I didn't work with anybody. Like, I shot all my own content. I did everything by myself. I didn't want to be in a business partnership with anybody because I don't like being around people. And so kudos to you that I'm able to be around you like 24/7. That's dope, because I usually am, like, really, like, I grew up in a family of 8. There's 9 of us. I have 8 siblings. I'm a middle child. I like to be alone. Like, and I like the peace. I like the quiet. I like working by myself. So yeah, I think that that's something that makes our partnership special, is that we're super alike. You know, we're very similar in the way that we think, in our creativity, and in the ways that we are different, they, like, complement each other. I think that's what really makes our partnership special.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too, like, just to add on to that, is, like, trust. You know, trust is a big foundation with any project or anything that you do. And with me and Safia, when we work together, there is a lot of trust when it comes down to just, like, executing. Yeah. We know that each other are going to execute. We know that we both have our hearts really in it, and we want to make sure that it gets done no matter what. Yeah. So there's that trust that's, like, there, that's elevating the project as well. Right. Put it this way, if I had to, like, describe it, if it wasn't me and her and another 2 person who don't have that trust did the exact same thing, exactly what we did, it wouldn't turn out the same exact way, because there's that lack of trust that's not there. Yeah. You have to really be able to depend on the person that you're working with to be able to execute at that high level that you want to. And me and her, we execute at high level
100%
every single time. And we have a lot of trust within each other to make sure that it's always getting done. She knows I'm going to execute with the photos, video, and all that. She's going to execute with styling, with makeup, with anything. In creative directing, we're both creative directors. So every time we do a project, we already work that field. And we did a lot of it by ourselves already before we met. So now when we work together, it's just like, okay, like, it's nothing like when you talk with someone and they automatically click with you, versus you having to over-explain your idea. Yeah. Like, we never have to over-explain. It's like, she'll say it, and I'll be like, if anything, we'll probably cut each other off, but I get it.
We get it. Let's go. Let's go. So we don't even gotta talk about it. Let's just do it. Like, we already know what's going on. Like, I think that there's a chemistry there in terms of working together, that we just both understand the final vision. And I think that the dedication to excellence is something that me and Fuego have in common that not a lot of people have. Like, I know that there's a lot of amazing creatives out there that are willing to pour into their creativity, but are they dedicated to excellence the way that we're dedicated to excellence? Not really. Like, we put in hours. Like people will be like, damn, you put in 20 hours today? Yeah, I slept for 3 hours. Like,
that's real.
Yeah,
I'm putting the time in because I don't want the latest car. I want a jet. Like, I want a private jet. Like, I want to be, the level of success of which we both want to get to is literally that's like, and it shows in the work that we do together. Because people will be like, oh my God, you guys are so dope. Like, you guys are killing it. Like, I didn't sleep today. I didn't eat today.
Yeah. There's always something. There's always something.
We're working our butts off to get to that level so that, and for me, I'm a big believer of give before you get anything, right?
Yeah.
So as much as we're working to like be excellent and like be the best creators we can be, we are literally giving back. The amount of mentorships that we give to people, the amount of high schools that we speak at, we go to community centers, we do free photo shoots for so many people who can't afford photo shoots. Like, we just give back so much to the community, we pour into the community, and that's because you cannot get anything without giving. Like, that's just, it's the law of reciprocity. You have to give to get. So I think that like one thing that that our partnership is like rooted in is community building. And that's another reason what makes our like working together so special, because not a lot of people want to build community. Everybody wants to build themselves. Everybody's like, I'm the best up. Neither of us are competitive people.
Sure.
Like, we're only competing with ourselves. So like, and we value collaboration. Like, we love collab. If you guys want to collab, hit us up, because we love to collab. We love to collab with people. And it's so crazy because the whole city's trying to compete. And we're over here like, we're just trying to put y'all on. We took 7 local brands to New York Fashion Week. My first ever New York Fashion Week last year, 2024. Mind you, I was invited 2021, 2022, and 2023, and I turned it down all 3 times. 2024, we finally decided to go together. I only wore local brands. I could have worn Chanel, Gucci, Dior, Louis Vuitton, but I chose to take local Seattle brands. Out of those 7 local brands, I only talked to 2 of them.
Wow.
The other 5 didn't want to level up. They weren't ready for the amount of like prestige that comes with being taken seriously. Because one thing about me and Fuego, when we look at you and we take your brand seriously, we want to take, that's scary. Most people are not willing to like elevate to that level. They don't
To jump.
They're
Scare.
They're scared. They're self-sabotaging. And I saw it in like designers literally that we took to New York. They didn't want to get to a level of being prestige or being like taken seriously, or like they wanted to stay where they were at. And so, if you're gonna stay where you at, I'm sorry, I can't rock with you, because we're always going up. Like, we're going up.
Elevation is real.
100%.
You have to want to elevate, and again, to like the partnership, I think that's like the biggest thing that helps with both of us is the fact that just knowing that we want to elevate.
Yeah, exactly.
Just anybody. I feel like anytime you're around someone where you just they want to elevate, and you can feel it off them.
You can feel the energy.
Yeah,
you can see it in them.
It
too.
makes the project way better, or whatever you're planning to do. Shoot, it might even just make going to lunch better.
Yeah.
You want to go to lunch? You want to get some good food? If we both want to get some good food, we're going to get some good food. You feel me? It's like one of those things. Like, you have to feel the energy. Right. So, like, it has to make sense. And, like, me and Safia, like, from day one, I mean, honestly, since we met, like, we always, like, kind of felt that energy with each other. Like, yo, I want to elevate. I want to do this. She says the same thing. I want to do this. And we both, like, keep the eyes on the prize, and we keep going. We keep pushing. Well, at the same time, like she said, we give back to the community, too. Because we also know that energy isn't just meant for just us. Our energy is meant to, like, be able to share with our community and help other people 100%. See themselves. Because there are people that have that plant inside them that's, like, ready to, that seed inside them that's ready to grow and for elevation. But sometimes you just need someone to just come and say, hey. Yeah, water your seed.
The extra push right there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always, the Colors group chat, the Colors Instagram page, you guys are both always active on it. You guys are giving, you know what I mean? You guys are making these collabs happen, which excites me, because sometimes, I'm like, man, I wish I could make it to every single event that every Colors member is doing it. Sofia's doing it, Fuego's doing, but you can't, right? Because there's just so many of them.
There's so many,
There's a lot.
You guys have been giving back, and I'm a firsthand witness to that, being a relatively, I wouldn't say I'm new anymore.
No, you're not new.
You're seasoned.
You're pretty seasoned, yeah.
Kind of going to, so I know in the intro I said this is episode 1 of 4 of the Pioneer Square project that I'm doing. And with that project, it focuses really on uplifting the local creatives here in Pioneer Square, where Colors is at, such as you two. How do you both see your work, whether it's styling, producing, creating, fashion, whatever it may be? How does that kind of add to how do you each add to that Pioneer Square culture, to that Pioneer Square energy that's here, that vibe? How do you guys feel like you guys are shaping that?
Oh, we're living in it, honestly.
Yeah, we always
live
here.
in it, honestly. I can say, so I'll tell a little bit about myself of like how, even like when I met Colors, I always told like Armando, like when we first met, that I love the fact that Colors is in Pioneer Square, because since I've been here in Seattle, this has always been a place that I always just naturally gravitate to, and I didn't know why. I never knew why. I just love the bars around here. I used to go eat at a couple places. Some of the homies I went to college with, they were bartenders down here, so they would show me. Like, I literally just ran to this lady the other day, or today was it? This lady that came up to me. She was asking. She was like, "This looks like J&M." She walked inside Central. She's like, "It looks like J&M." And I turned to her. I was like, "It's not." I was like, "J&M, they closed down during COVID." But like.
Wait, what is J&M?
J&M's the bar that's right next to Central Saloon. It's closed down. It's like not right next to, the Mediterranean mix place. But if you go in that corner, there's the sign's still there. It says J&M. It's an old bar that's been out here for a long time. And this lady, she came in and like it does look identical to Central, but it's closed. And I like just being able to relate to that just shows how much I've like. Just shows how like long I've been hanging around Pioneer Square. My favorite vintage store that I like to go to all the time. Like, just got this jacket from them today. Bon Voyage. Like,
I like it, man.
They've been here for
styling.
I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. But like, they've been here for like 15 years. And they've just been a staple in this area.
Yeah.
So I've always loved the community and just the energy about Pioneer Square, the grungy vibe. I love that everyone just likes to be themselves here. Like, no one's trying to fit into like society norms and whatnot. Everyone is completely themselves. Like, if you want to see Seattle, come to Pioneer Square. And I feel like the work that we do together, the things that we do, we actually embody that. Like, you'll see it. Like, I remember when me and Safia met, I actually was very impressed to know that we was in the car one day and she was playing music. Yeah. And
everyone is always so surprised.
I was
when I
very surprised by her playlist. Her playlist was very 80s punk, 90s punk, like grunge music, and I was like, you're totally like
what
Seattle.
Is this?
Yeah, like, but she listens to a lot of like these like this sound, this vibe out here, and I was like, that's so cool that you're actually interested in that. And I was like, Pioneer Square is completely that vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up here, so like, I remember like being in high school, we would like ditch school and we would come to Pioneer Square and we would go like hang out at Occidental Park and like, like just do what like bad teenagers do in the park, But like, like this area has a lot of culture, has a lot of history. And I remember a time when there wasn't like the homeless population wasn't as bad here. Like that's kind of new, like right before pandemic up till now. But like back in like 08, like 010, 012, like 2012, like that wasn't really the case. This was a very lively it still is a very lively area, but like it was even more of a lively area. A lot of these old businesses, like you were talking about, have closed. And I think the way that I pour into Pioneer Square, I almost exclusively style my shoots out of Bon Voyage. Like, we are so locked in. Like, like even this corset is from Bon Voyage. Like, we rep Bon Voyage so much, and like the things that they have in that store, like the owners, Keith, Megan, they're so dope. They're so sweet. They've been there for so long, and they it's like very much a community here. The restaurants we frequent, like, I don't know if you know that there's a Pioneer Square community discount, by the way.
What?
Yeah. If you go eat at any of these restaurants or go to any of these bars or anything, you tell them, hey, I'm at Colors. They give you a Pioneer Square community discount.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's called the neighborhood
discount.
Just ask for the neighborhood discount anywhere, and they're going to ask you where you work.
And then you just say Colors.
And I could just pull up my podcast and show them.
They're not even going to ask you to show you. No.
They're going to take you at face value for sure.
Yeah, they're going to take you at face value because that's what community means in this area. Like, everybody like really is like, this is a very close-knit area. Like,
First of all, if you even say neighborhood discount,
they know that you know that you're from here, because how would you even know?
Because nobody
who the heck
knows.
puts those two words together.
Yeah. Let me get the neighborhood. They'd be like, all right, bet.
Yeah, you're from here.
I like that.
But yeah, no, I think this is this area. It has so much life, and I feel like other areas be trying to creep on us, like Soto and like Westlake. They were like, oh yeah, like we're part of Pioneer. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No. If the sign doesn't say Pioneer Square, you're not in Pioneer Square no more.
Well, I think the thing is too is like they can take inspiration from what we're doing here and build that community in Soto and wherever you're doing with
Absolutely.
Seattle.
I love Soto. I'm always there. I'm a huge fan of Soto. I'm a huge fan of downtown. It's just like, why are you claiming Pioneer Square? Like, it's not. It's like the GPS says it's not.
But yeah, we love this area, and we embody this area, everything about it. We don't look down on it, and I only bring that up because I feel like a lot of times when you say Pioneer Square, like a lot of people automatically kind of like
Hill people.
Yeah, they just try
that's
to,
literally Capitol Hill only.
They
though.
turn their like head to you because it's very grungy, it's dirty, or like that's how they feel. But
Old Seattle, a little bit.
Seattle,
yeah.
But it's culture.
It's culture.
Yeah.
It's history here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I feel like okay, if we're talking about history and we want to like bring it all in, what we do together work wise is timeless.
Absolutely.
And Pioneer Square is timeless.
Yeah.
And it's historic.
Yeah.
So we fit right in.
100%. I remember when we came back from New York Fashion Week and we did that shoot at Central on the stage, like they actually shut down the stage for me and let me like shoot on the stage. I was like, let me be a rock star today. Yeah. Like it was really cool that like the whole bar, like they closed and they let me like shoot with the drums and the guitars, like literally on their iconic stage. And if you don't know, Central Saloon is the oldest bar in Seattle. It opened in the 1800s, and it's still a very popular music venue today. And grunge originated there. So like Kurt Cobain performed there before he was famous. Like Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, like major grunge.
Alice in Chains.
Yep, major Nirvana, major grunge bands like performed there, and they still perform there. Like there's so many performances. It's one of the main places that like when bands are touring the United States, they stop at Central in Seattle. So to be able to like do that shoot, like wrap up, because remember I took only local brands with me to New York, so to be able to come back home and then like wrap up all of New York Fashion Week content with like on one of the most iconic stages in the city, I just felt like that's so dope. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity if we weren't Pioneer Square family, like if there wasn't that sense of community here. And that like, and I love that when we walk down the street, we see the same people. Like earlier today I was parking and this guy that I've been seeing for like 4 times, like in the last 2 weeks, he goes, I swear I'm not stalking you. I'm just like always in the area. And I was like, no, it's cool. I'm always in the area too. Like we see the same people. So
it's a tight-knit community.
It is a very tight-knit community of creatives.
Yeah.
That's like the really dope thing. Like everyone's always super creative.
Well, I think even for me too, finding colors was not the easiest thing, because graduating college last June, I was asking everybody, I was like, hey, I'm not going to be in Bellingham full time anymore. I need something in Seattle.
Oh, you went to Western?
I went to Western.
Oh, okay.
And I was looking everywhere. And finally, I went to the pop-up kitchen that happened in September. And one of the guys there,
September.
yeah, they had a September one, they had a November one. I didn't go to the November one. And they ended up being like, hey, yeah, is this actually Armando? There's a place called Colors. And he referenced me to Armando. I called Armando. I became a member a few days later.
You know what's crazy is I also became a member because of Pop-Up Kitchen. Not the September one, but like the one in May. Yeah, so I'm a few months earlier than you.
A few months earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I went to Pop-Up Kitchen in May. Same thing. Sele, who does Pop-Up Kitchen, he was like, yo, this is the Colors fam. They were actually giving away a Colors membership, actually. I didn't win it.
Wow.
But I signed up the next day. But yeah, that's so funny because September is the only pop-up kitchen we didn't go to.
We was in New York.
Yeah,
right?
No, we weren't in New York. We had a shoot that day.
Yes, that's something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we were on set the whole day, remember? Because I was like, I want to go, and you were like, I'm tired, and I was like, yeah, because we definitely went to May, June, July. Well, like, I didn't even know, we met in June, so I went to May.
I did go to the summer. That was my second one. There was one in July.
It was July 20th, yeah, the 1 year anniversary.
I was at that one. So we probably did see each other. I just didn't know you two.
That one was a lot of, like, there was so many people
there.
There
was a lot of people.
Yeah, that was because it was the 1 year anniversary. First of all, shout out to Sele and the Pop-Up Kitchen. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Pop-Up Kitchen is a free event that is done in Seattle once a month. I think it's paused right now. Hopefully they unpause it soon. It's where a community can come together and eat some free food and just vibe. And it's usually like a really dope event.
Some free good food.
Some good food, yeah. That's how I met one of my best friends too. She's a chef from Jamaica and she flew out for the April Pop-Up Kitchen and she was the chef. And then I was just with her in Jamaica like 2 months ago, like literally. So it's like definitely the friendships you make there are like long lasting, because me and Lacey, that's my girl for life.
Come on.
Locked in now.
Yeah. I want to kind of pivot a little bit to, and I know we kind of touched on this, but underrepresented voices. You know, there's, you know, specifically this podcast being the Black experience, you know, being a college little mini project that I had, you know, coming up, and now it being 2+ years later and kind of expanding and just, you know, broadening it out here in the Pacific Northwest. Why would you say you both? I mean, you guys could take this as an obvious question, but why is it important to use your platforms to elevate those underrepresented voices? Like, what is it in your guys' hearts that is pulling you? You know, was it like a personal experience? Was it someone? What is that?
Yeah.
I think like, well, I think I do this work for speaking up for underrepresented voices. I do the DEI work. You know, I'm all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I don't think it's just one experience that makes it so important for me. I think it's the collection of experiences that make up my entire life. Okay, so first of all, being the child of immigrants, already you come into this country and you're like, boom, I'm so grateful to be here because I just watched my parents struggle to be here. Like, and then, but then you get, like, you're here and then you're like, wait a second, hold on. Cause like when I go back to Somalia, I remember like the first time I went back to Somalia was in 2010. I was like 12, 13 years old. And I just remember the feeling of everybody looks the same. That means that racism can exist, you know, because in the tribalism, sure, like there's still prejudice of like, you know, but races, like one race being better than the other race cannot exist when everyone looks the same, you know? And when you have actual claim to the land, right? So in America, when I came back to America, and I remember only being 13 and just thinking about the fact that like, wait, there's something different, right? Like I feel like a foreigner in my own country. Like I was born in the United States. Like I should feel like comfortable here. Like this is my home, but I don't feel comfortable here. And then I realized it's not just me. Every minority doesn't feel comfortable here. Like whether you're Black, Latino, Asian, whether you're white and you're LGBTQ, like nobody that isn't a heterosexual white man feels comfortable on this land. And I think that that's the importance of like speaking up for underrepresented voices so that people can feel comfortable, because that's such a valuable feeling. And it's also the number one place to grow from. Like once safety is the root. If you don't feel safe, you can't grow. So I think that that's why it's so important to speak up, because when people see someone that looks like you, someone that looks like me, someone that looks like you, like when they see people that look like us succeeding, like it alters their brain chemistry. Like remember when me and Fuego recently, we went to go speak to some high schoolers and that were super interested in photography and fashion and stuff. And the girls, they're all East African girls wearing hijabs, and they literally were like, we never thought that we could do this. Like you do this full time, and they're like freshman, sophomore in high school, and they're like, wow, like now I think I can do it. And I'm like, yeah, well, you can, you know, you really can. They were like, we've never seen anybody that looks like us that is doing this. So like the amount of confidence boost that those girls probably got, and anybody will get from seeing representation, like you cannot undermine that like at all. Like I know that there's so much talk about like earlier, like 2 years ago when they made Ariel Black. Remember how that was super controversial? They were like, why the hell are you making this redhead princess black? Do you know how many little Black girls that changed their lives? Like my nieces, that literally altered their brain. Like it changed their confidence so much to see someone that has the same skin tone as them be a live action Disney princess. You know, like
representation matters so much. So much. And it's rooted in safety and confidence and self-belief.
Yeah. Wow. And we need it, honestly. I know for me, like, you know, it's everything Safia is saying, and just, you know, just in general, like growing up, like I grew up in that, you know, typical household where it's like, you know, you your expectation is to go to college, get a high education, get a really nice job. And for the most part, I kind of followed that, honestly, because I joined the military. I went about, because, coming from the South, you only have a few options.
Right.
Military, or you're going to college. Or you're going to be a good for nothing. You're just going to be stuck in this same city forever, right? So I didn't want that, and I wanted to do something different. But I still ended up following this pattern. But I realized throughout my journey, traveling, going to the different countries, which was a joy, I got to have conversations with people who did something different, who did take a chance to do something just a little bit different in their life. And that made me realize, oh, I can do this. I can try that. So that helped me a lot. So I always want to be a voice. I want to use my platform to be able to show people hey, you can do this. You can be a full-time creator if you want to. You can bring the community together if you want to. But I would say my ultimate reason, truthfully, for me, is really having a daughter, being a father, looking at my little girl every day and raising her, and knowing that I am not just building a platform just for my community, but there's this little girl that's going to get older one day, and she's going to wonder, hey, what is the world like? What is possible? And I need to set the standard. And I need to show her that this is the standard, that you can, this is not just the standard. You can actually go beyond what I just created, what I've done. So I just got to work hard and make sure that bar is raised to that level, to the level that I would like for it to be, for her to surpass it too.
Yeah.
So looking at my little girl every day, and just also knowing that she's a female, and that society isn't set up in the right way for females all the time. It's hard. Yeah. It's not easy. Right. Being a girl dad.
Being a black girl.
Being a black girl specifically. Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard. And raising one, it's frightening sometimes. So I want to make sure that I can build something for her, so that way, the world is a little less scary for her, and she has that confidence to be able to do what she wants to do. And, build her own community when she gets older. Yeah. And keep passing the torch.
Yeah. One of my recent guests, Trey, actually has that vision where he wants to build a community center. And he's doing it in memory of his best friend that passed away, that he was bringing up. And he's starting a whole tournament. He's a coach right now at 21. A basketball coach and a scholarship. He's doing all this for his best friend in memory, because, again, for your daughter, and then also for those other black girls that are there watching that, and representation. You guys have, your heart is pulling you in each of these people's, directions, and saying, hey, you know what, man, we're just trying to make it better for the next generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I had that in my life too. Podcasting is not something that I always wanted to do. It kind of just came up. But whenever I do get feedback, and someone does say, hey, you know what, this podcast made my day. Yeah. It means the world to me.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So, man, this is kind of getting a little emotional or something, man. What's going on?
What'd you put in this water, man?
It's getting deep.
Yeah. As we're kind of coming towards nearing the end of the podcast, self-expression. Mm-hmm. I think that word, when I think of that word, I immediately think of you both and whatever you both do. What does self-expression mean to each of you?
I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
Self-expression is everything. It's how you walk, how you talk, how you represent yourself, how you dress. Obviously we're in fashion, so self-expression is very big for us. I love to look good. I love to dress a certain way. I've been like that since I was a kid. My mom taught me. And I think it's important because, being able to express yourself, it's a release of energy. When you're able to express yourself in a certain way and with a certain amount of freedom, you're releasing this energy, or these, even toxic energies that don't fit well with you. Yeah. And you're allowing yourself to just be great every time you release. So I think it's important to self-express and just put yourself out there, and it also helps other people too to see self-expression. Self-expression makes people happy. It can make people happy. It can make them feel emotions they haven't felt before. We saw it during COVID. I feel like a lot of artists were born during COVID, because a lot of people started learning how to have self-expression in many different facets. Yeah. And it helped a lot of people go through that dark time that we're going through,
Absolutely.
So it's very important.
I think self-expression, for me, it ties directly in with self-respect. I think that oftentimes we're told how to be, how to act, how to dress, what's acceptable, what's not. Like the society gives us all of these rules, you know? And I think that self-expression is going outside of those rules and outside of the box. As a stylist, I think that the number one way to self-express is clothes. The clothes that you wear, how you present yourself can really change so many things. It can open doors and give you opportunities. But the root of self-expression is knowing oneself. If you don't know yourself, then you can't express yourself. So I think that for me, like as amazing as self-expression is, I would say you have to do the shadow work first. Like you have to know who you are. You have to know what you're expressing, and like go ahead and like it's okay to change. You know, like I was super emo in high school, like hella piercings, silver hair, black lipstick, like yeah. I think like it's okay to change, but I think that self-expression is in the same field as self-respect and self-belief. And to have self-belief and self-respect, you have to know yourself. And then once you know yourself, like kind of like a butterfly, then the self-expression comes. You can express yourself because you know what makes you happy, you know what you value, you know your morals and your principles. Like those are the things that I think are really, really important. And the way you express yourself is just part of that, you know, like it's a representation of that. So I think for me, self-expression means transformation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Some good definitions, yeah.
No, I love that. Like, especially the part with like talking about like the more you know about yourself. The part I have a phrase that I've been saying for a while now, where it's like the more you know, the more you grow, the more you show.
Yeah.
And it's all about just like, you know, getting to know yourself, reflecting, meditating, things like that to just learn yourself. The more you know about yourself, like a research paper, you have to like get the knowledge, do the research. After you do the research, then you grow within that knowledge. You know, after you get to know yourself, you get to grow within yourself over time, right? And then
you show.
Then
so
you show.
the self-expression's at the end,
At
right?
the end.
So it's like you know, then you grow, then you show.
And like the research paper example, at the end, you show your presentation to the class.
Yeah.
But it's not a great presentation if you didn't actually take those steps before to know and grow. You have to learn those. You have to go through that.
There's got to be
first.
that
You
shadow
also
work.
can do it the other. You can work backwards though. You can look at like, okay, this is what I'm expressing. This is how I dress. This is the type of music I listen to. This is who I'm around. This is what I do. Okay, why? And then dissect it the other way. Because sometimes people, they don't know where to start, right? So maybe start at the surface. Maybe start with what you decided to wear today and let's talk about it. Let's dissect why you decided to wear that outfit. Like,
or it's
know?
even like some people just grew up in that household where like the parents like dress this way and they express themselves in a certain way.
100%.
So you automatically do it, but you never knew why you did it. You just did it because it was like, that's what I grew up around. That was my environment.
Right.
Yeah.
It's super important to like check your those subconscious habits. Because the subconscious mind is only like, I mean, the conscious mind is only 10% of your mind. The subconscious is 90%. So 90% of the stuff we do every day is not stuff that we intend to do. It's just things that we're doing on autopilot. Like habits that we don't think about, that we just are doing. And the only way to reprogram your subconscious mind is to understand where those habits are coming from. It takes sitting down. And this is what most people don't want to do. And we talk about this, me and Fuego talk about this all the time. People do not want to talk to themselves. They will talk all day to everybody else. The yap of the year, you know, yapathon. But when it comes to sitting by themselves and talking to themselves, that is something that most people are running away from. And that they'll run to music, food, friends, sex, drugs, yada, yada. Like, even being a creative sometimes for us, we've had those conversations where sometimes we jump into our work and that's kind of unhealthy and toxic because we don't actually want to deal with the truth of like what we're running from, you know? And we just go straight into like creating, and you get burnt out when you do that. You see creatives that don't want to create anymore because they've poured all of their pain into creating. And then instead of actually sitting with their pain and dealing with it. And now they never, like I did that with poetry. I used to write the most amazing poems. I still can, but I don't anymore because I spent so many years writing this deep poetry from a space of pain and then never looking at it again. Like kind of just like trapping the pain in the poem and then not actually healing from it. And now I hate writing poetry. Like he's always like, oh my God, you're so good. I'm like, I fucking hate this. I don't. Break the pencil. Like I hate it because it now I associate it with being in pain right? So that's why it's important to heal, even as a creative, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, you guys mentioned a lot in there. The art of consumption. Consumption, what are you consuming? Because like Fuego, like you were saying, you grow up a certain way, you're going to do that thing. Because, society kind of teaches us and programs us to think a certain way, be it our parents, be it our family members. You had a reel on your Instagram page that talked about the art of consuming negativity. How can you say I'm positive vibes only, but then as soon as you say that, you're driving and you're listening to the most negative music, the most negative news.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need a break from the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
I
news
don't
is
listen
too
to the
much
news.
sometimes. It's too much.
it's a lot.
I will go TikTok is my news. I feel like that if it's really something I need to know, it's gonna show up on my For You page. That's kind of like to go actively go open NPR in the morning. Absolutely not. There's a reason why they talk like that.
Yeah.
In the
bad news sells, right?
Not just that, but the anchor voice. Like how all news journalists have the same voice. Welcome today on NPR, Fox News. Like the way the reason why they're talking like that is because it's like a hypnosis.
Sure.
It's like permeating your subconscious mind to like bring your vibration down. But
it's a whole nother thing.
Let's talk about your art of consumption.
But,
No, it was the question though.
No. I was just referencing that as saying like when I did see that post though, it is so true. Like what you said. Like it's not even just me. Like so many times I find myself I like something, I save a little Instagram thing just so I can reference it back. I usually don't go back to it.
Yeah, same.
But when I saw that, I said, man, that's legit. That is legit. Like the art of consumption. What are you consuming is very important.
Yeah, it's real. I first learned about it. There's two moments that I can reference that even had me think about that in the first place. One, I grew up as a dancer. I used to battle growing up. I was in a dance crew and everything.
Yeah.
And when you're a dancer, I would say it's one of those art forms that you consume energy in a different level than most people would, because you're allowing your body to be super vulnerable and fill out everything in the room, the environment, the frequencies, everything, in order to create the step, create the movement.
Yeah.
So you feel a lot, and there's been moments like even like if I had like even just talking about dance, like we know about the art of this the dance style crump. Crump has a whole culture behind it. It's looked at as very aggressive, but it comes from fight. It comes from people having that need to fight, but not fighting like physically, but in more of a still physical but spiritual way where you're dancing it out.
Sure.
That's why the movements look so aggressive and whatnot. But when you crumping, most of the time you are listening to aggressive music, and sometimes you might find yourself in that state of mind still, unless you completely release it.
Yeah.
So that's like one way of
Is that like why in Stomp the Yard the shooting happens in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah,
like they kill Chris Brown's character. Yeah, like in the first 2 minutes.
There was a lot of anger in that, and the fact that the style of dance that they chose was crumping.
That's what they were doing. That they were crumping before that happened. Okay. You ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
You never seen Stomp the Yard?
I've never seen it.
That's crazy. You need to go watch Stomp the Yard. That's a really good
After
movie.
this, you watch Stomp the
Yeah.
Yard. You gotta watch it.
It's a good
It's a really good
Less.
movie.
Yeah. They kind of gave us some false advertisement. They were like, Chris Brown. He dies in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not
In the
even
first 30
in the
seconds.
first 30 seconds.
He's gone.
Now I can't watch it.
No. It's like he's not even part of the story. Like
Okay.
he's
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's like one way to reference like, how I kind of like thought about the art of consumption, because I realized like when I danced, what I was consuming was music. And even how I learned to dance was like how I was watching people before I went to a battle, or even before I'm about to battle a person, like watching their battle previously, I can kind of consume that energy and then use it on the dance floor against them. So I always valued like consuming things. I knew it was very important because of how I had to use it myself. Sure. Then the other part of like just the art of consumption too is just like what you watch every day, what you listen to, what you see. That, it goes into like how you're inspired.
It goes back in here,
Yeah, it goes all back in here. So, I actually tried it out. I tested it one time where I switched like my whole lifestyle of how I did things. Like I went from, you're a podcaster, so you probably know some of these podcasts. Like,
We'll let them pass through.
Emergency. I'm dead.
Yes, okay. I am a podcaster.
So you are a podcaster. So like with podcasting, like I don't know if you've watched some of these podcasts, like Drink Champs
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
So like I watch podcasts like that too, and like
Breakfast
Funny Marco.
Club, all of
Yeah,
them, yeah.
and they're cool, full of a lot of information, a lot of pop culture things that are going on and whatnot.
Sure.
But there's a difference between me watching that all week long versus me watching like Jay Shetty for a week. My mindset's gonna be different. If I watch Jay Shetty for a whole week, every single day, I'm gonna be thinking on this whole different type of frequency of positivity, mental health, like all. That's how I'm gonna be thinking, and it's gonna kind of shift into my day-to-day activities. Now, if I'm watching Drink Champs every day, who knows? I might want to just be having a drink. I might be just want to talk crap with my uncles and whatnot. I don't know. Like that's just the vibe that you get from that.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that's truly happening, but I'm imagining that if that's what you're consuming on a day-to-day basis, that is what you become.
Absolutely.
So what you consume is just like eating.
Yeah.
If you eat unhealthy, then you become unhealthy.
Yep.
If you consume unhealthy, then you'll become unhealthy. So you just got to switch how you
Mic
consume.
drop, yeah.
Yeah.
Right
I
there.
think the art of consumption can also be around people, though.
Yeah.
I think the people you choose to surround yourself with.
Oh, 100%.
And who
Yeah.
you're-
What is the saying? You're the 5 people you hang around
Are
most.
you- yeah.
You're the average of their income, of their decision making, of
Their
everything.
habits, yeah.
Habits, everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, like if you're always around people who are gossiping or broke or not trying to elevate, then you're consuming that energy. You're in it. Your environment is just as important as anything else. So you'll become it.
Our consumption is a big thing, and you can take it. It's so broad. It's like it goes so many ways. But if you practice it
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis, you can start seeing shifts in your life. But it's like those unconscious shifts that you'll see happen in your life. You know how like everyone consciously tries to make better decisions and better things every day. If you just consume responsibly, you'll actually start to see naturally that your life is going to start taking a shift in a better direction,
direction.
just because you changed what you consumed.
Wow. Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh man, y'all are getting so many different nuggets. Oh my gosh, I love this. Well, we are at the deep end part of the podcast, and I call it deep end because anyone who's still viewing, who's still listening to the podcast, they're about to get my favorite question that I like to ask, which is advice to the younger generation. So, Fuego and Safia, you both are creative legends in my book. What advice would you give to the younger generation, to those even in y'all's generation, in our generation, that are on the come up, that want to pursue a creative endeavor, be it photography, be it podcasting, whatever it may be, but they either feel like they don't have that confidence, they don't have the resources, they don't have the accessibility?
I would say just do it. Not to quote Drake, but you know what? Drake can be a goat sometimes, but he said, Nike don't pay me to tell you just do it. They pay me to show you I do it again. And that quote is a quote or a song lyric that always sticks with me, and I always go back to it because just do it is literally the only reason why Nike is $1 billion company, actually, because their clothes look just like Adidas. They didn't do anything special. They didn't make this amazing new thing, you know. They just decided that they were going to tell people to just do it. And the power behind that mission statement is so, like, there's nothing like it. And that's why it's checks over stripes all the time, because that's the advice that I would say. As far as lack of resources, no such thing. Not in 2025, not in the digital era. I was making content by myself from my bedroom. I scaled my TikTok to over 100K followers completely alone. No videographer, no photographer, nothing. Like, I didn't have a team behind me. I just was consistent, and I niched into what I wanted to niche in about, and I just did it. I woke up every single day and I said, I'm going to show up for my audience and I'm going to do it. Like, people always ask me, like, oh my God, you have so many followers. Like, how'd you get this many followers? And I just did it. Like, you just have to choose that you're worthy and that you're special. We're all special, you know? So we all have something different to offer. And that's what the advice I would give to all creatives is start thinking you're the shit.
Facts.
Yeah, like, just start walking around like you are it. Like, and nobody could tell me nothing. Like, you gotta walk around like you Kanye.
Yeah, facts. And that's like, to piggyback off that, the advice I would give to the youth is the same advice I would give to myself, if my younger self. is it's okay to be delusional. It's okay to have these wild ideas or to look at yourself in such a high performing way. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody diminish you though. Don't let people make you feel like you're small. Don't allow that to happen because people will do that on a day-to-day basis for the rest of your life.
They'll never stop.
They'll never stop. It'll keep happening every single day, and it's up to you to reshape your mindset and to say, I can do it and I will do it. I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. You're going to think like that. You just have to go for it. Execute. There's no such thing as a bad idea. There's bad execution.
Wow.
And back to that quote that we said at the beginning of the podcast, if you had to fail 100 times to succeed, how happy would you be when you failed? Like, if you have to fail 100 times to succeed, every single time you fail, you're going to be happy because you're that much closer to being successw.
We don't take L's as losses. We take L's as learning lessons.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't take L's at all.
Only W's. Only
Everything I do is a W.
I could feel the confidence of Safia, man. It's hitting me right now in waves, you know? Dang, man.
I don't take L's. I don't know what that is.
Up and everything too, you know?
No, period. As you should, though. And I think that's something that, I think a lot of people always tell me, how, that's the number one question people ask me. Why or how are you so confident? And I'll say that the answer is rooted in, I did the work in terms of looking at the demons of the things I didn't want to look at. Yeah. Most people, there's something called the dark night of the soul. Most people are not willing to do it. They want to lie. They want to be toxic. I got married really young and I got divorced young, right? So I had to decide, was my life going to be how I wanted it to be? And if that's the case, what was I going to do to learn the psychological lessons to become somebody that I'm proud of being? Because I think a lot of the times, most people are not confident because they're not proud of what they're doing. I love what I'm doing. I wake up every day and I love my life because I worked my ass off to get here. Yeah. But yeah, no else, just W's.
Best said. Well, Fuego and Safia, I appreciate both y'all's time for joining me.
Thank you.
This is the part of the podcast where y'all can give shout outs. Where can people connect with you, find the work that you do? If they're maybe looking for a photographer or a fashion stylist, let's throw in any of the plugs, social media right now.
All right. Well, I'm Safiasofly. I'm Safiasofly. That's Sophia, but with an A. Safia. Sofly on all of my social media. That's TikTok. That's Instagram. I don't do Twitter. That's for the birds. We don't do that.
Facts.
But everything else, YouTube, I have the same username across platforms. You can find me also at Sofly Spotlight, where I spotlight local brands and fashion musicians, creatives, models, stuff like that. And yeah.
And you can find me on all platforms at Fuego_Gatsby, all platforms. And you can follow our business, Ignited Minds
Co.
Ignited Minds Co. Where we put on for the community, we build the community. And honestly, we just trying to put that best energy out into the world, really.
Also, if you're from Seattle, stop by Colors. Our office is downstairs. We got the Ignited Minds office. Knock on the door. We're usually there. Come say hi. We're always here.
It's a great community, y'all. Yeah. Appreciate
join the membership,
both y'all.
And when you guys join, say that we referred you.
Yeah, us.
Just us. Yeah.
Put our name down.
Put Ignited Minds as your referral. It will work out for you. You get a good deal.
They're very well known, y'all. Listen to them. Appreciate Safia.
Appreciate
Fuego.
You so
Thank y'all
much.
so much. No,
Appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
So much, no.
You're a legend and a goat. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone enjoyed this awesome episode. I took away so many things. I really did. And I'm sure a lot of people were crying, laughing. I mean, we took them through a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for episode 2 of 4 coming out for this project. And for everyone that supported me on this podcast journey for 2.5 years, thank you so much. And stay tuned for more as season 5 rolls on. Till next time, y'all. Peace. What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.